welcome back to the Forge of Champions here. It's the
it's the news at 5.
I'm just cringing out my brain right now. Had no idea he was going to do that. It's like, dun, 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 dun. News just in. Hyperion got slammed.
News just in. Dalsy can't withstand the
And
cringe.
it wasn't even a good paper shuffle. You kind of went...
It's the thought that counts.
I think that's what makes it nicer and fun. More fun.
More fun?
Scoundrel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more fun.
Don't listen to him. You didn't ask.
Scoundrel said to me before this broadcast, "Hey Dalsy, I want you to loosen up and have fun." And then he continues to slam me.
It's called banter, bud. Can I borrow your pen for a second?
You
Actually,
can go on.
thank you.
There you go.
It's just because
some
you didn't
notes.
write down the times of some team fights.
I actually couldn't because I didn't have a pen.
Well, I'm going to write those down just now so
But
that we can make.
I was planning on doing it. I kept a mental note.
Did
at
you?
9 minutes, the 5-man gank happened. At 23 minutes,
Just doing our work, by the way,
Enclave
guys.
were able to come back with a massive team fight around the Baron
Yeah.
pit.
And this is informative because you also get to learn what happened whilst I write it down.
Yeah, so those are the news at 8. Right, we're gonna head into game 2 here. We've already talked about some of the things that that Hyperion could be doing to, I guess, to spice this series up a little bit. I think the one thing that really impresses me is that, like, compared to Wind and Rain in the XL series, Hyperion didn't like ever feel like they were going to just straight up lose.
Yeah.
This is a tough match for them, as was Wind and Rain with XL. But this doesn't feel like it's an impossible series.
Yeah, I think
It just
even
feels like
looking
it's a
at it-
very, 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 very difficult one.
Yeah, it's definitely a very,
Yeah.
very difficult one. But if we look at like the contrast from what we saw 2 weeks ago versus what we're seeing now, I mean, I know it sounds kind of BM whatever, but I mean, Hyperion have definitely improved. I mean, it does. It
That's
wasn't.
not BM at all.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's
I'm
still
sorry,
very
guys.
difficult. But, like,
But
you're doing good.
Apparently,
You're doing better. Yeah.
being told that you're improving and doing well now
Yeah.
is
But
bad mannered.
I mean, they're still. I was gonna follow it up, but they're still getting stomped. But I mean, I just didn't want to finish that bit off. But they're definitely getting less.
They're still getting stomped, but they're getting slightly less stomped.
I'm sorry.
Just-
Okay.
Well,
Slightly less
now
stomped,
that you
guys.
finished the statement, that is BM, yeah.
I think realistically, Hyperion. I mean, look, they're playing with a sub-jungler. It's always going to affect performances. We have to be aware of that.
Yes.
Demo, I think Demo was one of the big reasons that they actually pulled out that victory against Diabolus. I think he looked really good. His champion pool is very aggressive as well. He's also a big Lee Sin player. Could have come in and been a big part of this series if on the on 8-15 where Lee Sin has been a little bit more viable, a bit more potentially more aggressive in the early game. So I just think, you know, you're always going to put that down as a reason. It's not the only reason they're losing. I think their bot lane drafted pretty poorly into what was a Caitlyn Morgana lane. They also didn't really react very well. Like you said, it was difficult to react, but you could have had vision control. You could have at least predicted that when the turret is on this much HP, it's not that they're not just going to take the turret. They're going to try and tower dive you out of the turret. So, you know, they didn't predict that particularly well. And then when it came to straight up team fights, they weren't always finding those 4 versus 5s that they needed to win, and unfortunately that was just down to the draft, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think there was ways there that they could have played around. As you said, you know the turret's going to go down. You know you're going to get dove. Well, why don't you just preemptively rotate the Ashe up, and then you saw how low that tower already was because Ken had been chipping away with it. Use the pressure you created and just go for either a dive on Rift, turn that around completely, or else you just answer for that top lane turret with the bottom lane turret. So I mean, you're still going even, and you can start to move in towards that mid game. But it never really looked like they kind of had a game plan.
No, that's an issue for Hyperion. The question is, will they have a game plan moving into it? The scoreboard a little bit backwards here. It is Enclave currently banning on blue, with Hyperion on the red side banning away, and of course it is Enclave 1-0 up in this series. This isn't a repeat. This
It is a repeat.
live.
You've actually gone back in time by about 30 minutes. So welcome back to the past. We are just now heading into the series between Enclave, and actually what has really happened, which is really interesting, is that the teams have actually swapped rosters. So just for a bit of fun. Oh no, it's just kidding, guys. It was all a
jig
prank.
is up.
It was all a prank.
Did
We're
you
actually
just debate us?
yeah, it was. We're actually in the present. Let's go. Yeah, so bands coming through. Gonna be these bands here.
That was
your
the
voice there.
Scoundrel.
Anyway.
I cover for production mistakes really well, just so you know. If you want to hire me for that reason, I'm really good at making memes.
Oh my gosh, so Rift showcasing his Xin Zhao top. He loves to do this whenever they're ahead. He's like, hey, maybe
Can I play Xin Zhao top?
Can I play
days?
Xin Zhao top? And of course, the coach says no. And they go, Talia is open, so we have to first pick it.
Yes, the more times than not, Talia has been given to Eren in the mid lane over Monkeys in the jungle. So we'll have to be wondering whether that is purely going to be for that flex reasons.
Yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, Monkus has played it. I mean, he has looked good on us. So I don't see why it wouldn't go there, especially since it's kind of the top jungler that's up at the moment. I mean, Gragas is off the board, and you're probably not going to pick up Nocturne or what's it called?
Why would you not pick up Nocturne? That's the question, though, because Nocturne is open.
Yeah, I think you kind of lose out in the early skirmish now. I mean, he got knocked a few knocks a couple of matches ago, so. But I mean, yeah, definitely actually could have, yeah. I mean,
but Bunkers, we know that they like to deny Sejuani, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that could be Monkeys taking the Talia, so at the end of the day, you're not really denying Monkeys from anything if that is going to be Talia for him. And we'll see. Orianna gets locked in, so just a safe mid laner.
Yeah, the only thing I'd be worried about is if you do end up going for something like that, where you pick up the Nocturne here, you can just have the Kindred answer.
Sure.
On the other side, Monkeys has played that, throw the Talia into mid as you were saying, and I think that's kind of the big issue to have with this. I like picking up the Orianna here though. I mean, it's just your strong mid lane, and it works incredibly well with Sejuani as well. You got these big team fighting comp already starting to come through quite here.
We're talking about debated.
Yeah. Yeah,
we were talking about.
I've got that for you.
Oh,
your mic's just not quite there.
Yeah.
It just needs to be.
Oh, thank you, Dowsey.
Yeah.
That's so kind of you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Yeah, it looks like they did debate them, though. It is going to be the Trundle likely going to Monkeys here, the soft counter to the Sejuani, and that likely will be Eren piloting the Talia in the mid lane. So there is that flexible pick that we know Talia can have for teams, and specifically Enclave, they have flexed that quite consistently between
We knew
Monkeys.
that was coming as well. Like, just through the games that we've studied, Eren almost always takes the Talia in that
But
scenario.
Rob was right. Monkeys has played it, so there was that flexibility.
Yeah.
It was the same when we saw like the Camille as well. I mean, we weren't expecting as a Monkeys champion, and then he whipped it out. Now we lost, but he still looked good on us, I have to say. So I mean, it's not like he's kind of shown everything so far.
Speaking of champions that you need to look good at, Pike locked in here for Snuggly.
This is so different from a regular Snuggly champ. I mean, we saw him on the
wait,
Morgana.
Snuggly's banned Morgana against himself. Well,
Yeah.
I guess it's Hado as well. I
Yeah,
suppose,
yeah,
but
it's true, Hado.
yeah.
So Pike comes through, obviously it's a bit aggressive. You can see that into the Tahm Kench as well, which has already been locked in here by Hado. So Hado will be having the Tahm Kench. No real kind of push priority between Tahm Kench and the Pike, although Pike obviously exerts a bit more lane pressure because of the threat. And now bans are going to start to come through. AD carries being targeted left, right and center here, Dowsey.
Yeah, that's Caitlyn, Ezreal. Let's just throw a Jhin in there and a Varus.
I was going to say, yeah, I mean, if something like a Varus gets left open, you just lock that in straight away.
I think Jin's a good pickup for Enclave as well with their particular composition. I mean, you've got great siege potential with the Jhin and the Talia.
Ooh, it's left open as well.
It's interesting. This will be whether Hyperion read that. I genuinely think Jin's a good, solid pick for Enclave if they want to.
They could also be looking towards a nice matchup top lane for DanXD, just make sure he's on something safe before. But I think you really want to give him that counter pick. But yeah, there it is. The Jhin is just going to be locked in.
Yeah, I think Jhin is just too good for Enclave, and I think it's a good read from Hyperion. They are going to lock it in, and that's going to force Enclave into something different now. And it's actually looking like a fairly limited pool from what you've got right here.
Vladimir.
I mean, yeah, I mean,
Could actually, yeah.
Majors could still happen.
Oh, that's a hard
That's one pick we haven't seen in a good while.
Yeah.
What year is it?
Yeah.
We've gone back into the past. Again.
I think if you do go with the Vladimir fairly heavy on the AP side of things would be the only issue I'd have with it, but yeah, they're going to lock in the Ashe then instead.
We made the classic rookie caster mistake of talking about a hover.
Yeah.
Ashe gets locked in, seemingly as if that decent... It's like we call it a soft counter into the Jhin for the specific reason that you have the ability to just arrow the Jhin when he does his ultimate.
Sure.
If no one's body blocking him, especially in the bot lane, it's a little bit easier to thread that through.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the Camille locked in as well, and that's what I was looking to see if Rift was going to pick that one up, because DanXD hasn't shown a great presence in that 1v1 scenario, and this was actually banned away last time because they really didn't want Dan XD to go up against it.
Not a bad Poppy pick, though. If you're going to pick Poppy into any matchup, Camille is not a bad matchup to pick the Poppy in.
I feel like I've seen that before, though, haven't I? I think Camille, Rich at least has played it into Poppy, and he actually just stomped it.
Well, he might get the opportunity to stomp it again because it is a champion that Dan likes to play, and Steadfast Presence does kind of shut down the Camille engaging lane.
You know, when you dream and sometimes you dream in the future, it feels like you dream in the future.
I'm the opposite of Excoundrel. Excoundrel goes back into the past and then jumps into the present. I jump into the future and then come back.
Your dream was about Rift stomping Dan XD as Camille in the top lane, possibly, when he was playing Poppy.
Yeah, that's how I just dream about UK esports 24/7.
And you were there,
same, actually. That genuinely same. Guys, on Twitter, hashtag #ForgeChampions3, what is your weirdest UK esports dream?
That I actually do want to read.
I actually
that
want to read.
That would actually be funny.
If you could please go onto Twitter and tell us about your dreams of UK esports.
And tag us in it so we can actually
tag us in it so we can read it, because we haven't read it in the Forge of Champions stuff yet. Please tag us in it. I actually really want to see if any of you have had some great dreams about UK, because obviously we all have. I mean,
my weirdest, I think, was when Choke won the championship in the dream.
Choke won 4 Nations, right? I don't remember. It's a long time ago. Choke Gaming, shout out, throwback, 5 years or whatever it was ago. But we know you've all dreamed about UK esports or dreamt about UK esports. It's so blindingly obvious that it is the forefront of all of our minds. So please, go onto Twitter and tell us about your UK esports dream. Even if it's fanfic.
Yeah, it could be a meme.
If it's, you know, like Nutri X Tundra, I don't mind. I mean, I'm totally down. I will happily read these wonderful dreams. You haven't had that dream? Oh, it's just me then. Awkward.
I don't know how to move on from here, but we were going to try to.
Bad,
we've got 2 completed compositions here, Gosu. Let's run through what these 2 guys are throwing at each other.
Yeah, I mean, if you're looking at Enclave, Split Push is the name of the game. It's going to be like Talia has got that wall. She can join in a fight at any point in time. Camille there is going to be looking to just Split Push all day against Dan XD. And to be surprised at any point in time they really look for a fight. You've got great wave clear coming through from the Ashe as well. So realistically, they're setting up to just try and put this pressure forward. If I'm looking across at Hyperion, you've got a great team fighting comp coming through. Jin's able to set up incredibly well. Sejuani can come through with the shockwave. It's just it has all the aspects that you could possibly want. Great engage as well for a team fighting comp.
Darcy's avoiding looking at me now.
I can see it here, and I'm like zoned in on the TV. There's nothing else.
I'm just the perspective. I'm just creeping around Rob's face, just smiling slowly.
Yeah. I can see it out of the corner of my eye. I was like, "Don't, just no."
I actually really like Hyperion's composition here. I think it's just a solid team fight composition that plays out really nicely. So if they can get to a point where they can 5v5, siege, engage fights, I think Hyperion have got a good shot.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a case of if they ever get to that point.
Which they won't, but it's always worth to hope.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my other dream.
Wow, you just shut down the dream of Hyperion there.
No, it's my other dream. I dreamt about it. Hyperion X getting to late game. Don't know why you're laughing. It's not funny.
This is just a weird rabbit hole that we've gone down, and I just don't know how to maneuver back out of it.
No, but honest, I'm now being seriously.
Okay.
Now being seriously.
I don't believe you because you don't use proper grammar.
Yeah, I think Hyperion have got a really solid composition here. I do genuinely think that they could make it to a stage where if they form a proper team fight, it's really strong. If you have Dan XD survive versus the Camille, not feed, which Rob's right, we have seen this matchup go badly for Dan in the past, even though it shouldn't technically go that badly. Then maybe we get to a point where they can actually execute proper big team fights, wombo combos with ADM. But for me, I just feel Hyperion are playing really well right now. They are a well-oiled unit. They want that rematch versus XL, and they are 1 game away from achieving it.
I say everyone here predicted a 2-0 in favor of Enclave. Is this the unseen?
Take off your shoe.
What? I don't have a shoe on. I mean, I could offer you a sneaker. Is this going to be the sneaky match?
Why have we all got our shoes off?
I don't.
Oh, you don't? No. That's true.
Is this going to be the sneak?
No, it's not.
Sneak attack. Bring us back in.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
Same.
That was a really good
Highlight of the broadcast, actually.
Yeah.
Highlight. Nice segue into Sneak.
Yeah.
But
I feel like my pun game today has been surprisingly on point.
I didn't like the draft from Hyperion in the previous
That's what
game.
you're going to say. I didn't like your jokes. I mean, it's true, but normally people are a little bit more honest about it.
Didn't like the draft in the first game for Hyperion, but this draft I do like. I think it's much better. I think they don't have losing lanes.
Sure.
They have got the potential to be aggressive in the bot lane. They've got a great team fight in the sort of the mid-game area as well. And they scale quite well, so I do genuinely think that Hyperion have a chance in this game, but I just feel Enclave are the better team. That's, you know, I could say all I want about the draft, but Enclave just a cleaner right now.
Are they playing around the bot lane? Are they playing around the mid lane here? Where were they going to get?
I would be playing around bot lane. When you've got a Pike and a Jhin, I think you play around the bot lane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you just want to give time for ADM to start beef himself up on this Orianna as well. Like, the shockwaves don't do anything realistically until you get to that 2 item power point. Yeah. I don't know why you started giggling. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because if you're looking at it, it's got to be Yusa, and so you play around. DanXD on the pop isn't going to do very much. What?
I don't know. I'm just going to case to the giggles.
I'm looking. Maybe you see PFI go up top just to try and help out DanXD because I think.
I don't know what's so funny.
You're like creepy.
No, I'm not doing anything. Darcy, compose yourself. You're a professional. You're a professional, Darcy. This is what we do.
Yeah, we stare at each other.
Carry on, Rob.
I mean, Rift looks really strong, Camille. I'm going to finish my point there.
I'm sorry. I'm having a good time. It's probably the sun.
Yeah.
Or the lack of sleep that I've had recently. One of the two.
Heat stroke.
The heat
It's
stroke.
all heat stroke.
I'm also sick, and I came here anyway. Yeah. It's all right.
Just hopped up on cough syrup.
Yeah. Yeah, we have actually been making sure Darcy's looked after, but looks like your turmoil is over. We should be ready to go into game pretty soon, Darcy.
No, I'm looking forward to it. So let's get on to the Rift here and see if Hyperion can strike back. They've got the composition to do it. Now they just need to execute.
Absolutely. Enclave versus Hyperion. We are into the second game. ADM already just throwing down the gauntlet. Get away from my river brush, he says to Aaron, and Aaron backs off. Doesn't want to contest.
He did get the ward though, so I mean, they're 1 up already, but
10 gold in the lead.
10 gold,
game
exactly.
over.
Yeah, I think he just GG right now.
I think he just FF 15.
Yeah.
I think it's donezo.
It was well played. Unfortunately, just ADM not doing enough damage at level 1.
Here we go. Aaron's going to look to shove. And remember, you know, early on, before Lost Chapter gets finished by Orianna, you would expect Aaron to win that shove potential, which will allow him to set up to head towards that bot lane. Put pressure onto the Pyke and the Jhin.
Yeah, I think both junglers have kind of realized, same as we have, that bot lane is going to be where everyone wants to put their focus. And it's not so much Munkus wants to get down there to try and set anything up. It's more so he can just stop whatever PFI wants to do. Already, though, you can see he's made his way down. He's in the river there picking up that crab for himself, whereas Trundle's still up on the top side. So could actually see a level 2 gank coming through here if Bendy and Hado overextend.
Yeah, they are just Rift's got their first one going over, and again, DanXD just struggling to deal with Rift, who seems to have the clue in on how to win this matchup against the Poppy. He's going to be looking to go aggressive. He will have that precision protocol, which is hard to trade into, and elegantly sidesteps that Poppy Q as well. So this is something that I think Rift specifically had this matchup into DanXD and dumped him. So it is something that you will have to worry about if you are Dan.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what it was, but I'm pretty sure that this was the duo that we saw in this matchup, and Rift looks super strong.
Oh, that was a nice shut down of the hook shot there. The Rift is not yet done just yet. He did have that level 3 to level 2 advantage. He knew that they hadn't taken the Steadfast Presence just yet, and so looked to try and get an initial trade. Directed Cam is literally sending us all over the map, but it's fine because we want a bit of every lane, and that's better than the bot lane angle that we had for 15 minutes last game. So
yeah, looking at the bot lane though, there was a good ward placed by Talia, which meant that they spotted out PFI as he's doing the Rift Scuttle, so they know that he's down on this side of the map, which is why you're seeing them play so far back. They just do not want to have Snuggly or Yusa any opportunity to set up a gank for them. As I said that though.
It's going to be a dodge back. Snuggly's going to have to be careful. Counter gank coming in from PFI, but no harm, no foul. And he will just slowly back off. Was the right place to stop that engage happening, and no one burnt much of anything.
I feel like this is something... Oh, hang on.
You have to be so careful. I mean, Dan just not having a good time in this matchup. Really struggling. Rifty going for it once more. Nose flashes up, though. Doesn't want to risk it. No biscuit is on offer.
Yeah, and we were already talking about it. I mean, it was just Rift dominating last time that they were on any, or he was on any sort of carry up against NXT, and we're just seeing it again here. I mean, an 11 CS lead. Yes, NXT is going to be able to TP back, won't miss a huge amount, but it just means that, again, Rift is creating this pressure on the map that Hyperion really don't want to have to deal with.
Dan has had to teleport back in, though, so Rifty will be at a slight disadvantage in terms of itemization and also effective HP. And actually, Dan looking to try and abuse that by going in onto Rifty. This might be misplayed from Rifty. He stuck around for a little bit too long, potentially, and actually flashes. I think realizing the cooldowns from Dan XD could be a worry.
Yeah, it was the cooldown plus. If Dan XD had got the flash off himself and managed to sandwich him in between the walls, it probably would have been the kill going over. So I could kind of get what Rift was trying to do. Get as much damage down onto Dan XD before he backed, so then when he teleported in, he had the advantage of health. Oh, Bendy!
Nice pick up there, though. And it was very, very risky for Bendy. I can see that combo now. The hook into the deadly flourish, then into the stun coming out from Snuggly. You will have to be very careful as a very low mobility AD carry in the form of Ashe in this lane.
Yeah, particularly when you start to hit that level 6 point, because in this scenario, Snuggly doesn't... Ooh, hang on a second.
Here comes the gank, and looks like this could be potentially... Nope! Hado manages to flash out. I was almost about to spit out... Oh, that's a big flash forward, but the damage is not there. The heal comes through as well. Lots expended. The aggression from Hyperion is good and in all the right places. Yeah,
and it's very hard for Hyperion to just win out overall in the bottom lane, because if you look at the summoner spells that are there, it's Cleanse and Ignite versus Heal and Cleanse as well. That Heal would just give you so much extra damage, but Monkeys!
Oh, Monkeys gets the first blood onto ADM. ADM didn't even flash. Had that available, maybe looking to flash over the wall, but was just a little bit too late.
And I like that this is where he's decided to put pressure, because if you can get Aaron ahead in this lane and have him shoving in, the big reason that we kind of saw Talia fall off from being a big mid lane mage is because of the nerfs that we saw to her wave clear. I mean, she has to expend a heap of mana to try and get that wave pushed in. So by having Monkus visit this lane and give the advantage over to Talia, it means she can push in the wave, get back, get those items, and finally get a chance to make this ultimate work. She's now hit level 6. She's going to back up, I'm assuming, pick up a Forbidden Idol. Actually, no, they're just going to go with the double amp tone, but still means that she'll have enough pushing pressure that she can make use of the ultimate before she runs out of mana.
Dan going aggressive here onto Rift. He doesn't have his flash and will always have to be very careful now, and Dan has found some newfound confidence. The hookshot comes back in after that steadfast presence goes down, and suddenly one mistake in that teleport timing from Rifty and he's now on the defensive.
On the defensive, but he's still up 11 CS, so he kind of can afford to play around with this a little bit. Not to the same extent that he has been. I mean, definitely not ideal to be giving over that much in the way of poor trade over to Dan XD, but this is definitely better than what we've seen previously out of him.
ADM just unable to escape there, and Eren, although down in CS, is taking trades favorably. And this is probably the spelling of the lane to come. Bot lane has been volatile so far, you'd have to say. A lot of cooldowns still yet to be burnt, though. The flash is there for Snuggly, as the flash is for Bendy. But honestly, I've been impressed with Hyperion in the starting elements of this game. They look like a team more willing to commit and take risks and potentially look to take this game.
They are, but the problem is that when it comes down to the economics of it all, Enclave are doing similar stuff, but they're doing it better. So Monkus has had a gank. He got a successful gank, but the problem is that he's also able to farm consistently because of how much PFI is committed.
Dan can't flash out of this just yet. He has got flash available, but I don't think he's going to burn it. He knows that he's dead regardless, and Monkus picks up his second kill of the game.
And to emphasize my points, now he's put in 2 ganks, which is more than PFI. Oh, well, PFI kind of had a counter gank, but I mean, realistically, PFI has been out on the map more, trying to make the plays happen, but unsuccessfully. That's 2 ganks that Monkus has had that have either blown summoner spells, got the kills, and, well, in both situations. And it just means that he's gained a farm lead, and now he's getting an XP lead, now he's got the kill lead, and it just hasn't really worked out for PFI in these early stages.
Tom Kent's doing his job in what is a fairly heavy kill threat lane coming out from Hyperion. And now we have Monkus, who is 2-0, and a lot of Early pressure now going over to Rifty. He is going to maintain that CS advantage. He's picked up the Sheen, which you can proc twice with the precision protocol. We all like to talk about that. And now he's going to give him the ability to trade more effectively in lane. Rift
would be delighted as well if the rest of his team could pick up this Ocean Drake. Just having a little bit more regen in this lane would work wonders for him, actually. So, speaking of, might get an opportunity if Bendy was able to keep up that pressure, but the Enchanted Crystallara goes wide.
Yeah, PFI and Monkeys both on the bottom side of the map right now, so that Enchanted Crystallara being down is going to reduce some threat onto the Hyperion bot lane. It was a scary situation though. They weren't able to trade back effectively because they know going in onto Bendy is really not going to resolve too much. They do get the engage though on to the opposite number, which is Hado, and he's going to have to start to back off. He doesn't have his flash available just yet. Here comes the Jhin ultimate. It's going to have to be a tank. Not enough. The execute comes down. Wait a second though, because PFI's not done either. The red buff's starting to pop out. We do have another teleport. Oh! The final shot! Sniper extraordinaire, but Monkeys coming in. This is going to be an easy kill though onto the opposition jungler. And I think Monkeys is now looking for an opportunity to go into the bot lane. I think they attempted to cut off with the Weaver's Wall. Didn't quite happen. Unfortunately, we just pieced out from that fight just a second ago. But a good engage there from the Hyperion bot lane.
Great engage from Hyperion bot lane. That's exactly what they need to do in this scenario. Actually, DanXD underneath the tower rift. Ooh, not quite going down, but going to be looking up towards this gank in the top lane where it's just easy peasy as it like. The Hextech ultimatum goes down. DanXD knows he's done. Monkus has the subjugate down as well. No armor, no life. You're out of there.
Yeah, ADM now getting chased through by Hado on that Tahm Kench. The Ashe has rotated out of that bot lane for now, maybe covering the fact that Talia is in the bot lane looking to push on for this blue buff, and they're going to look to shove that mid lane turret in. Ooh, Rifty struggling here. The Steadfast presence not close enough to stop the hook shot, and DanXD suddenly bringing things back.
He's definitely bringing things back, but this CS lead is not dwindling. In fact, it's only kind of getting... Alright, it's actually just staying the same.
Oh, that's an aggressive push there from Monkeys using the subjugate, forcing the flash out of Yusa. And he will be forced to back off.
One of the big things from that play in the bottom lane, though, is that Aaron's Weaver's Wall is now down, so it gives them a little bit more safety. They won the trade as well, so right now Hyperion have the pressure on the bottom side of the map. I want to see what they can convert this into. Is it maybe they can get PFI down and have that big ultimate available to try and kill Bendy, who doesn't have a flash, Hado, who doesn't have a flash, get something down there for themselves, pick up a dragon. They've got everything that they want now, but they haven't been able to convert it, and that's kind of the big flaw that we're seeing from Hyperion.
DanXD, Rifty not done just yet. The hook shot misses by a sliver, but Dan has found newfound confidence in this lane, and he has got a lot of armor building up as well, working towards that Sunfire Cape. We've got another replay coming your way. I believe it will be of that bot lane engage.
Yeah, great engage. I mean, this was what you're already talking about at the beginning. The combination between Snuggly and the Jhin are just absolutely fantastic. Able to easily finish him off.
Oh, wait a second.
Top lane.
PFI jumps onto Rift. That was always going to go that way with a bit of jungle pressure, and they pick up a return kill in what has been a really good laning phase for Dan. The nice response in terms of macro play coming out from Monkeys and the team, though. They're going to go for the bot lane tier 1. So realistically, a net global advantage going over to Enclave as the, well, not quite sombrero, but a whiffed ultimate. Might be punished here as ADM super low, and Aaron heavily punishes him for that. And they get a solo kill.
Yeah, ADM saw the play, but couldn't quite make the connection he wanted with the shockwave, and it was just Aaron turning it all around. Now we're going to have to see if Snuggly can get out of here.
Snuggly will be able to just piece out there. Nice dash across the wall, gets the stun on some key members. But the Weaver's Wall might have put this Jhin in an awkward position as Aaron is going to start to try and kite away. The flourish comes through, but Monkeys is on the case. And Detective Monkeys, oh, he gets pulled away! Snuggly, you monster! And now he's going to try and body block for as much as he physically can. I don't know whether they're going to be able to convert that kill. Absolute hero Snuggly.
That was a fantastic play from Snuggly, able to save him, and then blocking the Tahm Kench, tongue lick as well. Completely getting Yusa out of there in what really shouldn't have been anything. I thought he was going to be able to kill Aaron, but just barely able to scrape away there. And still, we're seeing very back and forth. I mean, when there's only 1,000 gold in and we're nearly 15 minutes into the game, Hyperion have to be happy with how this early game went.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they've been performing much better. My worry is ADM. I think although he's actually ahead in CS by quite a margin, he looks like he's been struggling in these engages when taking on Aaron in a 1v1 scenario. However, CS across the board is looking alright. The CS is reflected in the bot lane, though. Ashe has got the similar advantage over his opposite number. But overall, way better from Hyperion. It does not look anywhere close to the first game that we had. And suddenly, things are looking a bit brighter for the Hyperion squad.
They definitely are, but I want to see PFI try and get down to this bot lane. I'll finish that point afterwards. We're just going to look at the replay. And ADM could see the play, looked like he was going to be able to do it, but whiffs. And then, I don't know why he still tries to go aggressive here. It just sets him up so nice. Actually, a great seismic show from Aaron and just finishes him off. But going back to it. Oh, never mind.
We have another engage. There's the ultimate coming up from Snuggly. Will not find the execute, but they will get the kill onto... Who was that kill went onto? It went onto Eren, so they got the shutdown, but the PFI also killed off, so it's a 1-for-1 trade as it stands. A little bit confusing there. It looked like Snuggly had died for some reason, but regardless, Snuggly picks up another kill, shuts down onto Eren, and PFI getting traded 1-for-1.
Yeah, 1-for-1, but Hyperion have pressure on this mid lane turret. They're still a bit wary of Monkus, who's hovering off to the side. Snuggly looking to see if he can get that bone skewer, but not going to happen.
Snuggly not looking to use these kills to build aggressively, actually going towards a defensive build path here, and hopefully sharing the gold, obviously, with those ultimate kills. Rifty going to get stunned into the wall. Big damage coming out now from the Poppy, and oh wow, Rifty just... honestly, is struggling in a matchup really that you should struggle in as a Camille. You shouldn't dumpster a Poppy as a Camille.
I think he's going for the finish here.
Yeah, he's going to try and go for the kill. Rifty trying to be defensive as physically possible, as Dan, again, just so tanky at this point in time, and Rifty does not have the items to keep up.
No jungler either, so he's got to try and snake his way out of here, and ADM's got to do the same.
ADM's dead, unfortunately.
Ooh, Rift nearly is as well. Yeah.
ADM's not been having a good game, but neither has Rifty. But Rifty managing to hold his big boy pants together. Has gone for the Tiamat for the pure wave clear, now working towards that Triforce as you would expect. But all that pressure being gained by Dan and nullified by that mid lane kill onto ADM is going to result in an attempted Rift Herald take here for the Enclave roster.
Snuggly trying to dissuade them, doesn't have much in the way of pressure from the rest of his team, so it will end up going over. No steal going to happen today. But this is where I was looking at, you know, this flip push. If Dan XD, which I believe he's working up towards the Iceborne Gauntlet, he will just, yeah, that's the Sheen complete. So he's going to only be hitting harder onto Rift, who really needs a good chunk of time. He hasn't worked up towards the Triforce, still needs to get into the Ravenous Hydra, Titanic Hydra, whatever way he wants to play this, but he still needs a good bit of time before he becomes this big split push menace, and Dan XD is free to just knock him about until then. Yeah,
and I think this is Rifty going the Tiamat early on is because he knows that he's not going to be able to contest. He needs to just be able to clear waves and shove back against Dan XD. Looks like there's a heavy committal to this bot side of the map though, as Dan looks for the flank. There are a couple of members hiding in the wayside, and Rifty, oh, that was a fail. Fail fish in the chat for that one. And an engage comes through onto ADM. He gets stunned. The cleanse there is immediately popped. So ADM should be able to survive. Another flash comes out of Monkeys, and the threat of Pike is enough to ward Enclave away. Oh, wait a second! I spoke too soon! Rifty dives in, straight onto the front line. Has got his ultimate available, I think. He's trying to go for a kill, and they do pick that up onto Sejuani. The shockwave is just not good. Ash flies over the wall. Bendy picks up a kill onto ADM. And that is a quick 2-0.
And we were just praising Hyperion. The early game had gone so well. They had Dan XD in the bottom lane, winning against Rift. And then this fantastic Camille engage comes through for Enclave, and they just solidify so much. And ADM caught out of position once again on Orianna, and PFI to the same extent as well. They got to be more careful, and I was going to say, they have Dan XD there. They should be trying to make plays around him, but they end up just giving Enclave too much time.
Really good engage from Rifty as well. He's been behind pretty much this entire game. Had a brief period in level 1 to 3 where he was winning, but has had rough times in that split push scenario against Dan XD for the remainder. But the engage was solid from him. Really capitalized over a strong mid lane. And actually talk a little bit about this itemization coming out from the mid lane, because it looks like he's gone for the GLP 500.
Yeah, what was it that HYPERION called it the other day? The fire hose or something?
The fire hose. Yeah. He's gone for the fire hose.
Yeah, but I mean, it does help out, especially when you're looking at how immobile several of the members of Hyperion are. It just kind of gives you that little bit of a disengage incentive, and also helps out, because I think what Aaron's going to be looking to do is actually going to be trying to split push a little bit, trying to just shove in those waves, and having something like that you can just freeze any sort of disengage, but also zone off members when they do try to come through. It'll work out incredibly well. You can see him, he's heading up towards the top side now, but I think the biggest thing that's come through from Enclave having that play in that river is that it shuts down everything that Hyperion had started to coalesce, or had started to coalesce for them. DanXD split push is now completely nullified because it's given time over to Rift to start to get these items. DanXD can't put the same pressure that he had down because he doesn't have pressure anywhere else in the map. It's Enclave who have the mid lane, have the top lane, and he'll have to overextend to try and really push it up to Rift, who's now going to have his Phage completed soon, the Triforce completed soon, and is hitting that 2-item power spike that he really needs on the Camille.
Yeah, a good way to deal with an Orianna, by the way, is this classic 1-3-1, as Rift actually gets engaged on by Dan, but Dan not doing the damage that he previously was to Rift, and Rift catching up just a little bit. Looks like they're going to continue this engage, a little bit of tit for tat at this point, and Rift waits for the ability to jump away with hookshot and does. In the meantime, Eren has taken a top lane tower, and again, 1-3-1ing pulls Orianna away from mid lane, limits wave clear, stops teamfight potentials, and I think this is going to be an engage here. Rifty has to be super careful. He's going to try and get the hook shot, does trade back nicely, and has still got the ultimate if in dire situations is needed. He starts to heal up. Lots of damage coming through. Here comes, oh, Haddo as well. That was a crazy, crazy Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and DanXD is going to go down. Well, maybe? Yeah, he does eventually go down at the very end. Snuggly now going to be the next target. They're going to chase him down. Bendy wants a piece of this action. Nothing bent tier today. He's going to take another kill off the board.
I don't know why Snuggly came down to help out. That was actually a great trade for Hyperion if they were able to get the 1-for-1 onto the Camille, and then they had everything else going for them as well.
That's that big engage.
Oh, Rift, that was just beautiful. 3-man lockup, and you can see here ADM is trying to push into the fight to help out to get the shockwave, but it just means he's caught out by the seismic shove again. Yeah,
he's been suspect of that pretty much all game, and that has been really tough for him to deal with. We've got another engage here. Eren managing to get away. There's the teleport coming through from Rifty, and right now, Yusa is a sitting duck for a Camille. Rifty jumps in. He's going to have duck for dinner. Eren manages to steal it off his plate at the end.
Yeah, this is why I didn't want to see Snuggly go down towards the bottom lane. They've committed the Tahm Kench and Bendy to that play. So if you go 1-for-1 as DanXD against 3 members, that's great. Now go make the play elsewhere. You've got Pyke, who's great at sneaking in on these engages, and try and see if he can get onto Monkiz, get onto Eren, who had pushed up pretty far to see if he could get onto that tier 2 tower. Instead, though, they give across another kill. It slows Hyperion down again, and it's just kind of not realizing. I mean, they were great in it last game where they realized they had that man advantage. This time around, they're not doing it to the same extent.
PFI just going to casually clear some crumbs away. Yeah, it's pretty happy with that. But realistically, this is Enclave starting to take the lead in this game once more. It's a slower lead, slower generated lead this time around, but you just feel the way that they are pressuring this map. Eventually, DanXD is going to struggle with Rift. Eventually, Eren is going to have to pull resources to him time and time again.
I think that's it. We're kind of putting a huge amount of emphasis on, oh, DanXD is doing great in the top lane. It's working out fantastically for them, but that is going to end. As you can see, it's getting damn close at this stage. But the rest of the map, look at, I mean,
see ya.
Yeah, I mean, exactly
nice,
it.
Really nice engage. Frontline submarine Ash coming through as Haddo tunnels his way towards this second tier turret. Nothing that Yusa could do, and he's just the wrong person to have split pushing in these scenarios. He's so vulnerable. There's the engage by Pyke. Nothing going to come of it though with the shockwave just not being powerful enough. Sejuani ultimate, I feel, to just disengage. And now Rifty trying to go onto Dan, stopping from a teleport, because the teleport is there for Dan right now. The Toppy ultimate comes through. And now Dan is looking if he can engage and help with his team.
He is backing, but I mean, if you just, this is what I wanted to point out, if you just cover the top laners with your hand, I mean, look at the disadvantage that Enclave or Hyperion even are up against. Enclave have 4-0 on your Trundle, 3-1, 3-1, and 2-1 on the rest of the team. Like, these are big members right now, and these are guys that spike very early as well. Ash, with that Blade of the Rune King and the Runins, makes it incredibly hard for Hyperion to get up and try and clear these waves, because if you start to take a couple of those auto attacks, even a volley, it can very quickly turn into a big engage for Enclave.
So it is Yusa that is the one that is side lane clearing against the Eren push that is coming through, which is again making him super vulnerable to seismic shoves, makes him vulnerable to enchanted crystal arrows. Orianna is stuck in this mid lane, the shorter lane. However, she is slightly less vulnerable than the Jhin. This is what I don't quite understand. But she's also running, I think they're both running cleanse actually. But regardless, you know, usually when you have a split push with an Orianna just admits defeat and has to move to a side lane to clear waves. She clears waves better than Yusa. I have no idea why Yusa's the one up there.
The only reason I can think of is that Hyperion are just like, look, we want someone who's going to be fed. I think this Orianna ship has kind of sailed. She's 0-4 at this stage, a good chunk behind on farm. Well, actually, no, she's up about even on farm, but realistically, we want Yusa to try and get up in levels and be that engaged. As I say that, DanXD is the one being engaged on it.
The Tahm Kench Ashe party has arrived. No flash over the wall for DanXD, and Aaron is going to clean that one up. There is a Ocean Drake or a Baron on the cards. Enclave want the bigger target as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow lands onto Sejuani. Not the target that you would have wanted as she's able to disengage. A big target indeed. And she jumps over the wall, so the disengage is there now. But the Weaver's Wall, trying to cut people off. That is going to isolate Snuggly, but Snuggly is not the target that they want. And I think Enclave are just going to have to admit defeat, and pings maybe for tier 2 in the mid lane, pings for the Ocean Drake as well.
Yeah, you could see the blood in their eyes. If they'd managed to catch out 1 to 2 more members of Hyperion, that could have been the Baron. With it not being the case, they're going to go for Ocean Drake. But you can see here, I mean, great turnaround by DanXD. And this is where I'm like, why is Snuggly here? Like, what have you offered to this fight? Poppy was going to go down anyway. You haven't solidified a kill. Like, no, you didn't help out at all. Whereas if you'd been up on the top side of the map, maybe you could have made that play in the 4v2 that were left.
Every time we come up with a replay, there's some sort of action happening.
Yeah, I get scared.
Yeah. It's just going to be Rifty backing away from DanXD, who again has gone for a Triforce of his own. So trade, it wasn't even the Iceborne Gauntlet. He's actually gone Triforce Poppy here. Maybe looking to have a bit more longevity, I guess, versus Rifty in the laning phase. And Rifty looks like he's working towards a Ravenous Hydra here, so he's going to be more sustain heavy.
Yeah, I mean, you say longevity against the Camille, but realistically, you've got maybe an extra 2 minutes you've bought there. It's nothing major. Rift will have that Ravenous Hydra completed very soon. Already has the Tabby there as well, so a lot of what Poppy wants to throw at him is already being nullified, just through healing and through that to the sustain that he has as well with that corruption potion still in his back pocket. So right now it's Enclave looking like they're in good shape to try and take this, but there is still the point though that if they don't close out the game relatively soon, you can still get good fights coming through for Hyperion.
Oh, DanXD there. Rifty not able to join this fight. It's going to be a 4 versus 5. That's an attempted engage by Snuggly. Oh, the snipe on the back line! Aaron absolutely cleans up. This is a bloody 4v5. And Enclave have come out victorious. Rifty is still pushing in the bot lane right now. And Hyperion are running with their tail between their legs, but they're not done yet. Dan trying to tank up what he can on the front line. So really good engage again with the Sejuani ultimate, but it is not enough. Here comes the Jhin ultimate. What can it do? It is tickling the front line of Enclave, and Bendy now is chasing them down, trying to do what he can with that slowing ability. In the meantime, Rifty is just taking an inhibitor. He doesn't look like he's done there, though. He wants to go for a Nexus turret too, as flashes continue to go out. They get another kill. Bendy picks it up onto the Sejuani. In goes Rifty, trying to put the pressure onto Snuggly. I don't know when this is going to end. It doesn't look like it's going to end ever. And Rifty may be caught between a rock and a hard place. There's the shockwave coming out. Rifty very close to going down. In the meantime, Eren picks up another kill onto the Jhin. This should be an easy solidify, and somehow Rifty gets out.
That fight lasted so long. Ashe's ultimate's nearly back up.
Yeah, that was a very long fight.
But I mean, it was also a 4v5 that Hyperion lost pretty heavily. And it looked like it was going to be a good engage. DanXD got in onto the backline, onto Bendy, but there was just no follow-up there. PFI was well out on the river. He might as well have had the fishing rod out at that stage, because he was just not going to be helping in that fight at all. You could see Snuggly was there as backup, and it looked like maybe ADM would have the chance to bring this back. He has the 2 items there, the Luden's Echo and the Merlin Nobicon. He can hurt if he can get the big shockwave off onto the right targets, but Aaron's not giving him the chance for that.
Rifty now heading back towards this bot lane. You might ask why he's going to the bot lane, because the inhibitor is already down there, but he just wants to create pressure on the map that is part of the map that is furthest away from Baron.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, with Baron up, if you start putting Camille on the top side, it just makes it far too easy for Hyperion to deal with. He needs to be down on that bottom side, because it doesn't matter that you're not pressuring an inhib, you're just pressuring the Nexus.
Yeah. So, Baron likely on the cards here for Enclave. Rifty's going to continue to shove in on this side lane, but the entire team just clearing vision out here around that Baron area. Feels like this is nigh on the end for Hyperion.
Yeah, I don't really know how they're going to come back from this. I mean, especially, we've already just said it, Ravenous Hydra Triforce completed on towards Rift. He's looking great in the split push pressure now, and a 4v5 still goes in favour of Enclave, so Rift never needs to leave this lane.
Look at Talia's score, by the way. Pretty insane.
7-1-7. That is... It's alright, like.
It's not bad. I would take that in a competitive match.
Yeah. Looks like Rift is going to end up in a 2v1, which means that Enclave are going to start up this Baron. I mean, unless the miracle play comes through from PF5 from the sub here to try and hold Hyperion in, but Enclave are actually going to turn right off it.
They don't want to risk anything at this point in time.
No, that's going to be the Weaver's Wall coming through as well to try and cut them off. Not going to come through to much success. So Hyperion are still hovering around this bar. That's actually quite a bit committed when you look at it. I mean, the Weaver's Wall and the Enchanted Crystal are kind of the big engage tools for Enclave. So Hyperion have managed to dodge their way out from both of them, which means they're striding forward with a bit of confidence here, trying to get in towards this Baron, in towards River, and Enclave realised, look, we've messed up, we haven't got these down, might as well back up and start trying to replace this vision that we've just lost.
Just need to shove mid in and again threaten Baron over and over. DanXD still managing to deal with Rifty. I mean, Rifty not getting that love near the Nexus turrets that he would have wanted, and again, whenever he pushes into the base, that's when Enclave start that pressure around the Baron pit. Looks like it's going to be a double man push in the bot lane though, as Eren is actually joining Rifty.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they're going to show both members. I feel like you just send Rift out first, so you think that you're okay, then you just all collapse onto Poppy, but looks like they're going to go running straight into each other.
Don't know if they've... Poppy wards there, so they know.
Yeah,
they know. They know. Okay, so they have to be careful. Eren can very easily get back over towards the Baron pit with the Weaver's Wall. He can also make his way over towards the end of the game. What I think could happen here is a Nuke Duck-esque end, with the Baron being started. If there is a commit by the Hyperion roster, you could just see Eren commit with Rifty to try and end the game.
Yeah, he's just been pinged out. Talia is making her way in towards the base. That's the first Nexus turret down. DanXD can't save this, and the rest of Hyperion are backing.
Looks like it's going to be a lose-lose situation right now for Hyperion. They lose the Baron or they lose their base. I actually don't even know if Baron was finished there by Enclave.
They moved away from it. They were a little bit worried that they'd lost vision as to where Hyperion were, so snuffs out the play for just a little while, but Enclave just say, ah, cool, we got vision now, rinse and repeat.
Just need to do that again. They're constantly pressuring that bot lane as it stands. Need waves to work with, though. The Baron has been started. It's up to Hyperion. Are they going to try and force this engage? But they might lose their base. They've actually committed the Orianna and the Poppy. Here comes the engage. Hyperion getting chunked down. Bendy doing so much damage. Snuggling now on the menu next. He is so low. Jin is going to go down as well. There's no escape for this guy. The flash over onto the blast cone secures it. And the really nice rotate from Talia means it should be end of game here for Enclave.
Yes, and Enclave come out once again showing that they are a team to be reckoned with. It's going to be the Tam Kench making his way in towards the base. Two members of Hyperion stand, but I don't think there's much they can do against the onslaught of Enclave.
And they have looked clean from start to finish. They are going to book their place in a final rematch versus XL Esports tomorrow here on LVP UK. Shockwave, steadfast presence, they are not enough to stop the Enclave machine, and they pile in onto DanXD. PFI trying to stop this with all of his heart, but he cannot as the Nexus explodes. Enclave 2-0 Hyperion.
And that was just convincing. I mean, yes, Hyperion looked like at times they were a little bit stronger from the last time these two matched up, but just convincing win from Enclave.
Really impressive stuff coming through from the Enclave roster. Really impressive stuff. And I think that Hyperion in this game started things off so strong, and it looked like this was going to be a contest for game 2, and then Rifty from nowhere. Over the wall, if you remember it, just out of nowhere engaged a fight. And
I did put that fight down as a potential replay for future
I mean,
reference.
well, I guess we'll have to find out if we...
Stick around next week on Forza Champions, where you might see that in our top plays from the previous week of Forza Champions. You could see that Rifty play happen again. just let you know.
So you will.
So you will. Scoundrel Big Boss Man here declares. I mean, really good stuff from Enclave. And I think the thing that I liked the most about this series was that they showed respect to Hyperion at all stages of the game. The Baron play towards the end was a little bit because it just could go wrong. I mean,
it could, but it couldn't as well. I mean, as long as they bought enough time,
Yeah.
Rifty and Talia could have got a huge amount of damage done to the base. There was always that. It's like a catch-22. It's like, do you contest the Baron where you lose, or do you contest your base because you're going to lose?
Yeah.
You know.
And I think it kind of works out as well, just because the composition they had the cleanse on the Jhin, they had the Tahm Kench there as well in case some other party target got knocked up. So I think in that situation they're okay to kind of play a little bit more risky, but there were 1 or 2 stages where it was like, that could go bad.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's just Enclave kind of pushing themselves to the full limit and really just testing out their ability to kind of hold that macro advantage over their opponent.
I think it's classic Enclave though. I mean, there's been a few times we've seen questionable Baron choices, and we saw it in the first game as well, where they got caught out in around that Baron where they're trying to set it out. Now, it didn't bring Hyperion back into the game, but it could definitely be a contention point if I'm looking at the side of Excel, because this is who they're going to be going up against.
Yeah, and it's a rematch, isn't it, from Fortune Champions 2 final. This is another final of Enclave XL, the E's, which XL, and classic XL fashion, reverse swept last time round and took the championship. I actually think we got the damage, by the way, from that game. If we were going to have a look at it, waiting for confirmation. I think it said wait on damage. Not sure if that means we've got it ready or not. But
wait on damage, wait on image. There's one of the two. There's definitely something that we're waiting for.
We should just not wrap it up this time.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not.
We are not going to be wrapping up the show just here, because we apparently have something.
That is.
There we go. I heard it.
Let's bring it up here and see exactly who topped the charts. Oh, it's very mixed actually between everyone here, but Aaron really.
Not surprised with the Aaron damage.
Look at DanXD though. I mean, that's a pretty decent chunk of damage for a Poppy.
Yeah, absolutely, and the most damage on his team. He was the shining light on his team, I think, to be perfectly honest. Ash also, I mean, that was just a good all-round performance from Enclave. Really was.
Yeah, and I gotta call, like, DanXD, that was definitely a redemption story in my eyes. I mean, no, they didn't get the win over Enclave, but he looked so much stronger, and the Poppy pick this time worked out a lot better, and even the Kennen had its moments where I was like, yes, this is the big engage. He's had the idea there, didn't always come out on top, but it definitely looked like they had the idea that they could have run with.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think looking forward to tomorrow, who do you favour going in? I mean, do you have to favour XL because of the head-to-head record that they've had, or?
I think you do have to favour XL, but that doesn't mean you should. Like, it's going to be really interesting. Let's have a look at the bracket anyway, though, so you can see exactly how these two teams got here. Enclave taking down Fit, Forgotten in Time, M&M, Hyperion to make it to the finals here. XL took down the Soul Q Warriors, Barrage, Wind and Rain, 2-0s all across the board for the good old XL here, and now they're going to be playing Enclave in a rematch of a best of 5. I mean, before this game, Scoundrel, you asked the UK scene what is some of their strangest UK scene dreams that they've had. Enclave responded to your call out saying that their UK esports stream is one where they reverse XL.
Reverse sweep XL. Well, you never know. This is the we make your dreams come true on this broadcast, if you hadn't been aware. And this could very well happen tomorrow. So we've given you the situation for that dream to occur.
Yes.
So now it could very well happen. Although if I wouldn't plan for a reverse sweep on.
Yeah, that sounds like a terrible idea.
Yeah.
All right, we've got a pool party thing.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So at the beginning of the broadcast, we told you about a way that you can get your hand on some swag. 3 new pool party skins coming out. Pool party Zoe, as well as
Caitlyn and Gangplank.
Yep.
Gangplank, yep, I know that champion well.
And if you guys want to win one of these, we've got 3 sets going. All you have to do is head over to fortrechampions.com, sign yourself or your team up to the 4th and final open tournament of the Forge of Champions. Then head over to Twitter and follow LVP on Twitter at LVPUK. And then, once you've done all that, all you have to do is tweet us using the hashtag PoolPartyFOC and answer this very simple question: which one of the Pool Party champions in the Pool Party theme set would you rather have on a desert island or by yourself? I answered Lee Sin because free pina coladas all day.
We're not going to go back to my answers.
Rob answered Nami.
Which isn't even a pool party.
Then what was the other one? I gave the other stupid answer.
Mine was Graves, but I went because he could like shoot water in my mouth and it'd be like a constant. Somebody just has a constant supply of water in that thing, so you know it's.
Nami's
brilliant.
a fish. Yeah. So she can be. Maybe one day.
So,
but yeah, you might as well head on over to Twitter, anyways, and follow us regardless. It's LVP UK. Lots Lots of great tweets there. I'm sure there's going to be some corkers of us messing around in the studio earlier. We did a bit of a photo shootout. And if you want to talk about anything Forge of Champions related from this tournament, it's Forge of Champions 3 is the hashtag. Or just, you know, kind of comment on my hysterical breakdown earlier. That was something to talk about.
I'm a really funny guy.
If you do want to go back and watch that hysterical breakdown and, you know, get ready to, what's the word, indict? No. Put me in a mental hospital, then head over to youtube.com/LVP
Section.
Section, there you go.
Okay.
And you can submit that to Court of Evidence. And also watch all the great semi-finals that we had today and the quarterfinals we had last week. Tomorrow will be our finals. XL versus Enclave, the rematch of all rematches. It's the best rematch we've had so far here in the Forge of Champions, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good one, so make sure that you head on over to your very manual calendar that you keep on the fridge and you write 6 PM twitch.tv/LVPUK for a best of 5 between the E's of the UK scene, XL versus Enclave. I'm excited for it. Last time it went all the way to 5 games and it was Enclave who went 2-0 up to begin with, so XL managing to reverse sweep it. Maybe we get some more drama tomorrow. This
is really important, this game, actually, because they're so close in the point standings, XL currently at the top, that actually this could swing the point standings quite considerably. And if you at home think, well, it's the 4th tournament now, I'm not going to have a chance to get to the top 8, I won't get to come to sunny Barcelona, you're wrong!
Because you will!
Well, yeah, you will, but the 4th tournament is also worth the most points by a considerable margin. So if you're a new team and you want to be involved in Forge of Champions, go to forgeofchampions.com and register, get a team together, kick some butt, and make your way onto the Forge of Champions stage where you could win all of those points and get top 8.
When XL won the 2nd scoring tournament, they won themselves 2,200 points. And whoever wins tomorrow in this final of the scoring tournament wins 3,300 points. And then the 4th one, obviously, can you guess it? 4,400 points.
9,000 points, Dowsey. That is right. Oh, I can't wait.
It's going to be a corker, guys. Hope you will join us tomorrow for that best of 5 between XL and Enclave. Till then, we'll catch you later on the Forge Champions.
Hello, and welcome back to Forge of